Hello everyone, I'm the Weather Dude, welcome back. And today we are talking about the major winter storm, more updated look, and the chances that this could become a blizzard. So without further ado, stay tuned for the whole video and enjoy. If you like staying up to date with the latest weather forecasts and updates, then please consider hitting the subscribe button below. Let's see how fast we can get to 2,000 subscribers. Also, to help this video's performance very much, please consider clicking the like button and sharing this video with your friends. Also, please consider watching the whole video. Thank you. Now let's get on with today's video. So yes, early next week, we are talking about a snowstorm for the Midwest and the Northeast as well. So here's a storm. All right, we have the temperature outlook from December 2nd through December 6th. This is about a few days out and from the Climate Prediction Center. And as you can see, the temperatures are expected to be below average for the Southeast, for the Midwest, as well as the Mid-Atlantic. And at least for the East Coast, the precipitation does look to be above average as well. So I think that's going to help prevail like a more active storm track through the South and then up the East Coast as well. But we're going to be talking about a storm that's moving through the Midwest. And looking at the oscillations, we have a positive PNA, which is Pacific North American oscillation. And that means, again, a more active storm track for the east. They got more low pressures and more high pressure for the west. It's a bit more drier out there. And when we look at the temperatures, how does that affect the temperatures? Well, below average for much of the east. All right, and then the west is, we see some above average temperatures. All right, and here is the Arctic oscillation, I think. So, I believe this actually is and this is the Arctic oscillation, yes. And above average geopotential heights for the Arctic, which means some below average geopotential heights for the east. And then here is a negative NAO, which is what we're going to be heading into as well. As you can see, the temperatures will be below average for much of the Midwest and the East, which is going to bring in more cold air and the potential for snow. So here is the PNA, and as you can see, look how we're heading upwards, right? We're already starting to trend upward, and the red is what's forecast, and as you can see, we're heading up with the PNA. All right, then we look at the NAO. Notice how end of November, beginning of December, it drops. All right, it's peaked now, and it's going to be dropping, which means, again, a more active storm track, some more colder air. The Arctic oscillation will be dropping, but that, as you can see by past data as well, it tends to go a bit up and down, but overall, that will be dropping as well. All right, so we are getting into the models now. So this is the GFS model. We got the GFS, the Canadian, the European model, as well as the UK MET model towards the end of the video as well. So stick around for that. So here is the GFS model. All right, we're going to take you through. Here we are right around Monday morning. Now keep in mind, this is perfect timing because Monday morning, around 7 or 8 o'clock, that's what part of the coldest time of the day. So when that low moves up, it allows even more cold air to build in. So Central Ohio, or Western Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, you're already starting to snow, but that's just the beginning. Because as the low moves farther north, we get even more cold air, more snow will break out for Western Ohio, for Southern Michigan, for Eastern Indiana. All right, and then once it moves a little bit farther north, the winds strengthen, and the snow actually gets pushed farther south down to the Appalachian Mountains, down to the Smoky Mountains, and more snow still is hanging on here. All right, it's all about what's on the backside of the storm. Doesn't look like much, but once you see the low start to leave, you'll see the snow still building in on the backside, right? The snow doesn't leave immediately with the system. It kind of hangs around for a bit. So I wouldn't say that the intensity of the snow will be the greatest. I think that if the winds are strong enough, this could be a blizzard because blizzard has nothing to do with snowfall amounts, guys. It has to do with the snow, as long as snow is falling, and how strong the winds are, and the visibility, and the duration. Duration's got to be 3 hours or more. Visibility has to be 1/4 of a mile or less. All right, winds, either sustained winds or constant wind gusts of more than 35 miles per hour, and snow has to fall. So that's kind of the conditions for a blizzard, and that's what we're going to be talking about, the potential for a blizzard. All right. But the snow, I wouldn't be so focused on the snowfall intensity, more so how long the snow lasts. Because the snow could start as early as Monday morning and may not end until maybe possibly later in the day on Wednesday for some folks. So looking at the snowfall totals with the GFS model, most of the snow, they're still calling for very hefty snowfall totals. I think Just as you saw in the thumbnail, snowfall total could get over 12 inches in some spots. Um, you'll see that with all the models here. All right, especially for looks like northern and northeastern Ohio. There's a couple areas within there that could see 8 to 12 or above 12 inches in some isolated spots. 4 to 5 inches for the Smoky Mountains. Even northeastern PA can still see upwards of an inch. All right, we're talking about for like Detroit, maybe 6 to 8 inches. Most of northern central Ohio, 6 to 12. Right along Lake Erie, 6 to 12. For the eastern Appalachian Mountains and eastern West Virginia, maybe even 6 plus as well. And I will include some of the ice maps because there's a chance for ice. All right, so this particular model for the GFS, not much ice, but very small amounts of ice for western Ohio and northern Indiana. But you'll see different viewpoints with some of the other models a little bit later. All right, so here is the Canadian, I believe, no, European model, sorry. So this is the European model now. And as you can see, here comes the low pressure system. Oh, spoiler alert. So here's the low. Now this is 2 a.m. on Monday. Low is down here, pretty much similar to GFS. All right, but not much cold air is there yet. Mostly rain, but once that cold air starts building, it continues to build in. Look at 8 a.m. Now, European model puts a lot more wintry mix in some areas of heavier snow on the map, like those darker blues. So that's definitely something to pay attention to. Luckily, though, none of the models really call for too much ice, and that's good news. All right, but some models do call for ice. A European model on this particular website does not provide the ice map. All right, but here is the low Monday morning, very similar to the GFS model, mind you. All right, in terms of like low position, and then again, you got that mix of rain and snow, solid rain and solid snow on the back side of the system. All right, and you can see if we get more moisture to come up here, like you see northeastern Ohio, that's some heavy snow on the backside. That's real, some pretty dark blues. All right, so keep that in mind. And then according to this, snowfall will fade away by Wednesday morning. So how much snow with the European model? They're forecasting a good. This is more of a wide. GFS had like 2 patches of red, which meant like 12 or 13 inches. But the European model has like a solid line in northeastern Ohio, where we could see as much as 12 to 18 inches of snow in the northeastern part of the state, kind of near Cleveland. All right, but still, north central Ohio still 6 to 12 inches of snow. The Lakeshore, Lake Erie, pretty similar to the GFS in this regard. Detroit, eastern Appalachian Mountains, 6 to 10. We got maybe even over 6 inches again for the Smoky Mountains, and even down parts of Tennessee as well. Maybe we could see an inch or a couple inches in the higher elevations in central Tennessee as well. All right, and then also a few inches for eastern Indiana. All right, and even a little bit of snow for Chicago as well. So here we have the Canadian model. This is the GDPS model. All right, and here is the storm. As you can see, when it first comes in, this is 2 a.m. on Monday. Okay, again, not much cold air. There's a little patch of snow through western Tennessee. 2 a.m. is kind of like the coldest time of the night, but sometimes 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. can be a lot colder. And also, you can see the low is pretty weak. All right, which means as it moves north, it strengthens and it can funnel in more cold air when it gets stronger. All right, so you're going to see generate its own cold air. Sometimes winter storms do that. So from southern Michigan through Indiana and even through some more moderate to heavy snow in western Kentucky, northern Tennessee. Again, this is the Canadian model. All right, and then it moves north, and we're pretty much in full force here. Monday night, Monday afternoon, Monday night. I mean, even in the early Tuesday, western Ohio in through Indiana, Kentucky down through Tennessee. All right, and then the storm moves north. Some snow on the backside. How heavy it is on the backside, like on the southern fringes of the storm, we don't quite know. All right, but still, look at according to the Canadian model, 2 a.m. the snow might start finally fizzing out completely around 2 a.m. on Thursday. So models are a bit different. They're kind of similar as to when the storm will arrive, and they're pretty similar with the worst impact in terms of the timing. But for when the snow exits out, not all models agree with that. It all depends also how quick this high pressure can build in afterwards and provide some more, some cooler but still some drier air. All right, and snowfall totals with the Canadian model. All right, again, a couple like the GFS. There's a couple patches I can see 12 plus, but overall, it's an overall 6 to 12 inches for central western Ohio. We got eastern Indiana has a lot more snow according to this, like 10 inches plus. All right, we got 6 to 10 for southern Michigan. Not quite as much for eastern West Virginia and the Smoky Mountains. So Appalachian and Smoky Mountains still around 6 inches. 6 or 7 inches for northern Kentucky, Lake Shores of Erie, again 6 to 12 around for those areas as well. But and even maybe some flurries. I wouldn't say really much accumulation for Alabama and Georgia, but we could see some flurries. All right, and maybe like you can just see a hint of it on the grass. Definitely no road accumulations as far south. That is for sure. All right, but you can see some flakes flying in the south for sure. All right, here we have the ice. So the Canadian model does provide the ice map on this website as well. So as you can see, some areas could get as much in central Indiana, could get as much as a third of an inch of ice, but overall, around a tenth of an inch to a quarter of an inch of ice, which can still bring down trees. It can still bring down power lines. So there will be some ice with this. All right, but how much? I think the GFS and the Canadian model vary very differently. All right, they vary a lot between the two models. All right, but still, even a tenth of an inch of ice can still cause problems, and you should definitely not be driving. Only go out if you really have to. All right, and this UKMET only goes out through Thursday morning, but I guess that's enough. All right, but they call for a bit less. They actually call for more of the snow, like 6 to 10 for the Appalachian and Smoky Mountains. Also, lake shores of Lake Erie. Those are like the hot spots where they call for like 6 to 10 inches of snow. But still, I do believe that Ohio and Indiana and Northern Kentucky can still pick in on some 6 to 12-inch amounts with definitely, it's going to be scattered, but there will be a good chunk of you that do receive over a foot of snow out of this in some spots. So now I'm going to talk about the actual blizzard part of this as we come towards the end here. Because I want to talk about, because again, one of the main things that determines a blizzard is the wind, right? We got to have the wind. So here's the wind gusts. We're going to start the European model. All right, we're going to go through early Monday morning. I think that there's going to be a lot more wind on the eastern side of the storm than there will be on the western side. I think that can definitely be said, because if you look at some areas in the mid-Atlantic here, like Atlantic City, winds gusting to 55 according to the European model. Offshore, we're talking about 78 mile an hour wind gusts. You go to the backside, I mean, over the lakes, it says 50 miles an hour, but that's because it's always stronger there. But if you go on the backside of the storm, 28, 30 miles an hour, it's still nothing to laugh at, all right? But not quite as much wind. But as long as we get constant wind gusts to 35 miles an hour, I definitely think we can get some, like 37, as you can see here for Indianapolis. We could get some winter storm watches going through this region. All right, and then again, let's go back to wind gusts. There we go. Winds could still be as much as 30 miles an hour. So now we're on the backside of the storm. All right, but still, 30, 35 mile an hour winds. I definitely think like along the lakeshore regions, you have a better chance for blizzard conditions because the winds will be a lot stronger there. So like Erie, Cleveland, and Cleveland could be like, according to some of our models here, the Cleveland, that could be the bullseye for some of the snow. But in terms of the wind bullseye, I would definitely say the Mid-Atlantic and the coastal Northeast will definitely be getting on the worst of the wind. All right, and as you can see, those pressure isolines lines are still packed really tight together. All right, and that's still going to lead to a lot of wind. And you can see most of the wind for this region will actually kick in on the backside. Like, it may not be till Tuesday where the worst of the wind kicks in. So maybe Monday we get some of the worst of the snow. And then Tuesday we start to get some snow and plus some more wind, 35 miles an hour plus. As for my forecast, let's go to the map here. I do predict that for this general region here, 4 to 6. Central Ohio could get 6 to 12. And then northern portions of Ohio could get as much as 12 inches plus, 12 to 18 in some spots. All right, but again, it all depends on the storm track, the intensity, how quick does it strengthen. All right, all these factors will take into account. So we'll continue to watch this over the weekend and into early next week as the storm is moving through. But yeah, definitely exciting to see our next winter storm of the season. So thank you guys for watching. I am the Weather Dude, signing off. Till next time, I will catch you guys in the next video.